Alright guys, we're going to do one more problem together today, again with folding paper. So if you will get out your second colored piece of paper, I would really appreciate it. It may not be the same color as the first, and that's okay. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to hold up this problem where hopefully you can see it, and let's read it together. I planted half my garden with veggies this summer. 1/3 of the half, that is veggies, is planted with green beans. What fraction of the whole garden is planted with green beans? I want you to pay really close attention to this question. The question asked what fraction of the whole garden is planted with green beans. So that means I'm not just thinking about what part of the garden that's vegetables is green beans. The question wants me to think about the garden as a whole. So that's going to interpret how I determine my answer, or how it's going to affect how I determine my answer. So what I want you to do, I want you to pause the video, and I first want you to fold your paper to represent half of the garden being vegetables. Pause the video now. All right. So it doesn't really matter which way you fold your paper to represent one half, as long as you make two equal sections. So that means I could have folded it this way, hamburger style, or hot dog style. And I chose to do the hot dog style. Now, half of my garden is planted with vegetables. So in the top half, I'm going to write veggies for short. Half is planted with vegetables. The bottom half, I don't really know from this problem what it's planted with, but it's still part of the whole garden, so it's still important. I still have to note that it's there. Now, 1/3 of the half that is vegetables is planted with green beans. So let's think about that. If I'm just looking at this section that's planted with vegetables, 1/3 of that is planted with green beans. So that means I'm going to split each section into thirds, or split this half into three almost equal pieces. My pieces aren't perfect, but they're about the same size. Now, that means just one of these thirds is planted with green beans. I don't really know what the other two sections are planted with. But now if I open my garden back up where I can view the whole, looking at this, can I tell you what section of the whole garden is planted with green beans? No. The reason why I can't is because my sections aren't the same size. I have a much larger piece down here than I do across the top. And again, like I said, if you're in my class, I know you've heard from me a ton that when I partition part of the whole, meaning this top half, I have to partition the whole thing. So I also have to partition the bottom half. So that means if I split the bottom half into thirds as well, I'm folding it so you can also see it a little bit better. That means that out of my whole garden, there are now 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, I don't even know what's planted there. But I do know in one piece, out of all 6 pieces in my whole, 1/6 will be planted with green beans. Now, the way that I found this was taking 1/3 of the 1/2 that was vegetables. So it's almost like I divided my vegetable section, my 1/2, into 3 equal groups. 1/2 divided by 3. But again, thinking about the inverse, the opposite of that, dividing by 3 and multiplying by 1/3 are actually equal. So yes, I did divide my vegetable section into 3 equal pieces, but the equation 1/2 times 1/3 equals 1/6 is also appropriate here.